So I met this lady, and then I was just shopping, just going on with my kawaida business. And then she was like, Muthoni, how sure are you that you did not marry a narcissist? At first, I didn't even know she knew me. And then I was like, where is that coming from? Then she was like, I know you, I've watched your videos. And then she told me she married a narcissist. So they had just broken up. So she was like, I'm so devastated, but I just want to know, how sure are you that that person you're married to is not a narcissist, considering you dated a narcissist? And then she told me how she's scared of getting married or dating again because she's scared of dating a narcissist again. And it got me thinking. And I'm gonna talk to you how to avoid narcissists and how I was able to make sure I'm not dating a narcissist again. By the way, if you've dated a narcissist, you're married to a narcissist, please comment down below. Tell us, say yourself down at the comment section. Now, I dated a narcissist. I've given that story. It's the story that led me to finding myself. I was lost, I was broken, and when I started working on myself, I actually really loved my healing journey and my transformation, and I wanted to share my story with other women. And so that's why I started my YouTube channel even before becoming a certified coach for women. Now, I want to talk about how to avoid dating a narcissist. By the way, if you've dated a narcissist, chances are very high for you to date a narcissist again, because that environment is already familiar. That the way he was treating you and your negative coping mechanisms to be able to deal with the gaslighting, the blackmail, and the lies, you already know how to navigate yourself around that environment. So it's very easy for you to date another man because it's familiar. Yeah, you see, like even how we say, your childhood environment, your childhood upbringing shapes a lot how you show up in your romantic relationships. If you were brought up by an abusive parent, you already know how to navigate yourself around that. Maybe when he comes home and he's shouting, you'll run and hide. When he comes home and he's in a bad mood, you'll cook his favorite food. You will be quiet the whole time so he doesn't get mad. It's the same thing with dating a narcissist. When you date an abusive person, you develop some coping mechanisms to help you deal with that abuse. It could be the silent treatment. It could be you, when he starts behaving badly, when he starts being mean to you, you cow so much, you give him all your passwords, you start being in your best behavior, you start apologizing for things you've not done. So it's very easy for someone who has been with a narcissist to find themselves in another narcissistic relationship. So you really, really need to be very careful. If you dated a narcissist, you married a narcissist, and you have never gone for therapy, you never went for healing, you never went for therapy, you never even came to me, you never went to anyone to help you understand why, number one, you were in a narcissistic relationship. And the first thing to avoid narcissists, the first thing you need to know why you dated that man, why you got married to that man. Is it because of your upbringing? Is it because you have low self-esteem? Is it because you rushed too much in a relationship and you were blinded by love bombing? That's the first thing you need to understand, especially for those who have dated narcissists. Why did you date a narcissist? I know my why. I know why I dated a narcissist. And my why became very clear. And I was able to distinguish between dating healthy and going back to my old ways. Number two is really, really important. Number two, how to avoid a narcissist. Trust your gut instincts. Trusting your gut. You know that sixth sense that tells you things are not okay. This guy is too much. That voice, please trust it. I had that voice in the beginning stages when I started dating the narcissistic ex. I remember even the first week, he was too much. He was calling me all the time. He wanted to see me every day. And I remember wondering, why is this guy too much? Like, this guy is too much. I remember this time I was working in the media. I remember that this time I was in the newsroom and he's calling me. I remember because I had a gray shirt, and that moment I remember it because that's the moment it hit me that this guy is not okay. The first week of meeting him, so I remember he called me like 2 or 3 missed calls, and but I was busy editing a story for a news story, and when I was able to call him back, he was like, "Hey, why are you not picking my calls? When you don't want to talk to me?" Then I'm thinking, dude, it's just been a week. These are my feelings zinatoka wapi? And I remember it vividly because at that point I was like, wow, what is wrong with this guy? But then I didn't know any different. I didn't know better. So I then finished my news stories and I proceeded. By the time I was leaving the office, he was already at the car park waiting for me. And I thought, oh, this guy really loves me. He can't breathe without me. He's just he wants to spend every time with me. I knew something was not right. I should have trusted my gut feeling at that moment. I remember there's even this time where I left work, and then in the where I used to work, we had decided with our colleagues that we were gonna go for karaoke. You know, karaoke. And so when so now we're leaving the office. When I'm at the gate, I see the Nax car, that guy's car. Then I'm like, what is this guy doing there? And then he comes over to me. He's like, hey. Then I'm like, hi. And then he's like, oh, I want you to go where? And then I told him, we had already made plans with my colleagues. We are going to this and this place. And then he started causing, oh, how can you make such a decision without me? Are you not even thinking about me? Like, dude, we are just getting to know. It's not even been a month. Like, even that moment, I could tell there's something wrong with this guy. But I ignored my instincts. So the most important thing is to trust your instincts. When you feel something is not right, it's probably because it's not. Please trust your gut feelings. When you go around looking for a sign, asking, what do you think? And then, let me tell you, when you meet a healthy person, when you meet the right person, you won't need to go around asking and second guessing. You'll just feel it's right. So when you feel something is not right, and there's this story I gave of the lady who went on I don't know if I gave it here on YouTube, but let me just repeat it for context purposes. There's this lady who went on a first date with a guy, and when they were on that date, the guy had an argument with the waiter and actually called the waiter a bitch. So the lady didn't even see anything wrong with it. She actually went ahead and dated this guy, but that relationship didn't even last even up to 6 months. By the time she was leaving that relationship, she was a total mess. She was telling me this story. I met her somewhere internationally when I was traveling, and she was giving me this story. And so she was broken, she was assaulted. It was just a whole long process. But she knew from the first date, she could tell this was not okay, but she did not trust her instincts. So number one, trust your gut feeling. Trust your gut feeling completely. Number two, there are things that are called boundaries. Of course, you guys know. If you're on this channel, if you've watched my videos, you know what boundaries are healthy boundaries. Don't compromise your boundaries, especially in the beginning stages. If you tell him, don't come to my house unannounced, it may be the first time, that's they pretend, oh, I'm coming to surprise you with flowers. And then the first time he comes, you tell him, oh, I really like the surprise. However, please just let me know when you're coming to my house. And then he comes again, don't open the door, or don't compromise, or don't let him in. You really need to hold up your boundaries. I remember me telling the narcissistic ex that I can't see him every day. Like, I also need some time. And then he was like, what do you mean? Me, I miss him. Yeah, I'm coming to see you every day. And he came every day, and I entertained it. So have boundaries and stick by them. If you don't want someone calling you past 10 p.m. and you tell them, by the way, don't call me past 10 p.m. It's my resting time because I have to wake up at 5 to go to work. Or just don't call me at 10 p.m. Past 10 p.m. I prefer us to talk during the day or early evening. And then he proceeds to call you past 10 p.m. because they don't have boundaries, those people. They push boundaries. They don't even have boundaries with themselves. That's the moment you know, no, you don't compromise your boundaries. You decide if you don't want him to call you past 10 p.m. Don't pick his calls past 10 p.m. They will not be able to stay in that relationship. When they realize they cannot be able to perform their love bombing techniques, their love bombing, styles, they know that they can't survive in a space where you are a healthy individual emotionally and mentally, where you know what boundaries are, where you're trusting your gut instincts. They can't survive there. So there are a lot more ways. And there are two very important ways to avoid narcissists. And I will talk about this in our boot camp, dating right as a woman. The reason I don't want to talk about them here is because they're very intimate. Yeah, and they require a safer space than the internet. So sign up for our upcoming boot camp. It's starting in 2 days, literally. Starting on Tuesday, 3rd September. My boot camps are online. They are ideal for anyone, whether you're fully employed, whether you reside in a different continent with different time zones, because the teachings and everything are in the forum for the whole time during the bootcamp, so you don't get to miss out on anything. Yeah, and I'm part of the forum. I answer your questions in real time. We have Q&A sessions. So please, so if you're a single woman, one of the worst people you can date are narcissists. And I'll be giving you tips as a professional who also helps supports women in dating, but also as someone who has gone through it, who was broken by a narcissist, but who picked up the pieces, worked on herself, healed, and now I am actually happily married. And I'm even already a mom. So ladies, sign up and see you